Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time, live stream edition, which I'm still pretty new at. So I am very grateful to have you guys joining me on this Friday. It is once again an overcast, kind of rainy, gross day outside for me. It's strange how that keeps happening on stream days, but we're just going to power right through it. Today, we're doing something fun and different because we got to push that envelope here on Magic Arcanum. We are lore mages. We care about stories. And in one of my previous streams, somebody suggested using the live stream to cover the side stories for Dominaria United. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the first of the 5 side stories. This one's called Homecoming, and it is all about Liliana and why she is in the set and on the plane of Dominaria. So the idea is that I will recap the story for you. I have created a BO1 Standard deck using cards that connect to the story in some way. We'll play a few games with it, maybe make some changes, maybe not, and we'll just kind of see how things go. I'm a lore mage, right? I focus on stories. I don't look at the future. I don't have a crystal ball. It doesn't work that way. I hang out in the library. I am so glad you guys are here. This is a lot of fun. Before we look at the deck and all of that, let me thank you once again for being here and remind you that if this is the kind of stuff you like to see and you want more of it, you gotta let me know. You gotta like the video. You gotta subscribe to the channel. You gotta leave a comment or something. Just tell me that you're on board with this, because otherwise I am talking in an empty room to a webcam and I have no idea. I don't know. If you're open to it, consider becoming a patron. You know, for just $3 a month, you get access to our Discord server where you can chat with me and Nicole and a bunch of other Vorthos story-driven folks. We swap decks, we swap jokes, we have tournaments that we run occasionally. We've been having some troubles with matchmaking on Arena, I think, right now. Once we get that fixed, we do free tournaments, and I ship out prizes. They can be cool stuff, custom tokens, sleeves from Dragon Shield. Like, I'm trying to do more with that. So that's a great way to support the show. I also have some links down below to today's deck list and to our regular sponsors. Now, to be clear, nobody is sponsoring this stream. I just like to include those links because I get referrals on them whether or not they're sponsoring a specific video. So check that out if you get the opportunity. Into the AM makes great clothing. Many Worlds Tavern makes great coffee. Again, they're not paying me to say that today. I just genuinely like those things and want you to know about them. Otherwise, I'm just trying to kill an extra minute or two here so people can settle in and join the stream. Seeing some chat already happening here, and I'm trying to get my head on a swivel so I can play the game, read the comments, all that sort of stuff. Will there be follow-up? Far From Home, No Way Home. Yeah, Spider-Man. Love it. But this was a standalone story so far, simply called Homecoming. Why is it called that? We'll find out in just a minute. Talking to yourself isn't a big problem. It's when you get a response you need to worry about. Funny enough, that kind of happens in this story. Mysterio reveal, Professor Onyx is Liliana. Oh man, the Marvel jokes come hard and fast here on Marvel Arcanum. All right. Let's talk about Homecoming. Let's get to this deck here. I got my little cheat sheet of notes down on my tablet, so forgive me if my eyes drift, but I will do my best to tell you what happens in Homecoming, the first of 5 side stories for Dominaria United. The whole thing starts with this lovely lady right here, Liliana Vess, one of the most famous planeswalkers in the game, I would dare say. She starts out on Arcavios, which is home to Strixhaven. She is a teacher there. She was going by Professor Onyx. She dropped that whole thing, and now everyone knows her as Professor Vess. So she is teaching. She is settling into her life there at the start of the story. Proud and happy to be shaping the young minds, as she calls it. But she has a problem. She is having trouble sleeping because most nights she is visited, often in her dreams, by this character, the Raven Man. The Raven Man has been bugging her for a long time, but right now he is telling her to come home. She's gotten very tired of the Raven Man. She decides to learn more about him to try to understand what's going on. She takes a trip over to the Biblioplex, which is the massive library on Strixhaven, or at Strixhaven, and she finds a couple of books on the history of Dominaria, and she discovers that this guy has a real name and a real history, which is encouraging because it means she is not imagining him, right? She has been seeing visions of this guy everywhere for a long time now, and she's trying to understand where this Raven Man's coming from. She realizes he was a real person on Dominaria, and that is comforting because it means he can probably be destroyed. If it's not a figment of her imagination, then these visions are coming from somewhere, and she figures she will destroy this evil. And she tells herself it will be a gift to Gideon's memory. He would like it if she took some time out of her very busy schedule to go destroy this evil back on Dominaria. So that's what she decides to do. She asks for a brief leave of absence from the school, and the other professors agree that that's probably a good idea. She's been distracted lately. She's not sleeping well. Students are complaining that she's kind of grouchy and distracted. So they say, yeah, your job will be here waiting for you when you come back. Go do what you got to do, Liliana. So she planeswalks home to Dominaria, which is where she first met the Raven Man, at the Vess family manor, which is played in our deck by Concealing Curtains. Just go with that one, all right? We needed the card for the effect, and it's it's like a homey thing. So, all right. She planeswalks home to Dominaria, where she first met the Raven Man, and it was here 200 plus years ago that he put her on the path to becoming a planeswalker by tricking her into using a tainted herb to heal her sick brother. Now, I've covered all that in other videos. In fact, I think I have a history of Liliana on this channel. You can go check that one out. But his scheme ended up turning Josu Vess into a monster, which then in turn ignited Liliana's spark. So now she comes back home to where she first encountered this Raven Man, and the Raven Man appears again, and she says, all right, dude, I know who you really are. I know your real name now. I've done my homework. I've studied up, and I know that you are Limdul, a character from Dominaria's ancient history. A portion of his essence has been captured in a magical ring, which was buried on the Vess family grounds, and he leached out of that ring and started toying with Liliana all those years ago. Limdul is, like I said, a character from Dominaria's past. That's kind of the cool thing about Dominaria. Everyone has been around for a really long time there. He was, as his card says, a necromancer who came to prominence during the Ice Age, and he was kind of a problem for the Keldans and the Balduvians, and he raised a zombie army, and eventually I think he was defeated by Joda, and then his body was destroyed, and then he remade himself, and at one point he had horns on his head, and he's gone through some stuff. Those ancient stories aren't super relevant to what happens nowadays, but it's nice to see a character who was mentioned on a bunch of cards from Ice Age and back in the day, and he eventually got his own card in Time Spiral block there. And now he comes back to us in the form of the Raven Man. He's been living inside this magical ring buried under Liliana's home, and he has been trying to turn her into what he calls the next link in his chain. He has been trying to make her into a vassal of sorts and use her to do his bidding throughout the multiverse. So Limdul is back, and he is the Raven Man. All right. So he asks Liliana, okay, yeah, you know my name. What else do you know? And she says, well, I know you were once this great necromancer, but you were defeated, and you were bound into this magical ring, which was then lost. And he says, yeah, I was hoping to use you to restore me to power, but that's going to have to wait because now a new threat has come to our home, which could destroy me and could destroy Dominaria. So he asks Liliana to save him and to save her home, but first she must save herself. I consider this to be a pointed discussion. Obviously, this is not a Dominaria card, but, it happens. They have a good pointed discussion, and the ability here, again, is going to play into the themes of the deck, so that is pointed discussion. Raven Man then vanishes, leaving Liliana alone, and so she reaches out with her magic, and she feels a dark presence nearby, and so she heads off in that direction. And she comes to Ellis Ilcor, Sadistic Pilgrim. And Ellis says that they are here to excavate an object for their own purpose, which is, of course, the ring that is holding the Raven Man. They want him, they want his powers. They don't really expressly say why, but that's why the Phyrexians have come to the Vess family manor. Liliana considers just letting them have it, so then she can be free of the torment that is the Raven Man. But then she decides that that's probably more dangerous, and so she attacks the Phyrexians with a bunch of dead swamp creatures. They're kind of standing in this bog at the edge of the Vess family estate, and she realizes there is no way out, so she starts pulling some zombies up. So again, not a Dominaria card, but this will work with the theme and the story of the deck, so no way out. Ellis, we'll say Ellis, throws a javelin at Liliana, trying to cut her down. I know that doesn't work on planeswalkers, but again, I get some flavor stretches here. Throws this javelin, manages to hit Liliana in the shoulder, which I want to bring up because it's possible that this infects her with Phyrexian oil. The story does not confirm one way or the other. She mentions that it hurts, it burns like acid, but it's not like the story says the infection began to spread or Ellis was excited to have, infected somebody. Nothing like that. She gets hit and it hurts. And they do mention that Ellis has oil dripping from, I'm pretty sure Ellis is a guy, so dripping from his own pores and face and everything. So it is possible, however, not specifically said, Liliana is hit with an infected javelin. Just want to make everybody aware of that. All right, so she taps into the magical energies of her family graveyard and Limdul's magic ring buried somewhere underground there, and she uses that surge of power to briefly gain control of the Phyrexian minions that Ellis had with him. And then she turns those decrepit creatures against Ellis, who runs off, knowing that they are beaten. Now, in the story, Liliana does count. There are exactly 8 Phyrexians other than Ellis, so our deck has exactly 8 Phyrexians. We've got 4 missionaries and 4 ragers, kind of representing the full spectrum here of the more humanoid ones and the more terrifying ones. But she's able to, because they are fleshy bits, she's able to sort of zombify, control, puppet string them, and use them to her own ends. Liliana's final move is to command the buried bodies of her ancestors to push Limdul's ring deeper underground so that she has time to retreat to Strixhaven and recover from the wound that she suffered. So that is going to be some of the hobbling zombies, which again, not a Dominaria card, and Pilfer. I'm using that to kind of represent the trinket getting pushed around. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but we'll take it. Ellis is a she, according to the wiki. Okay, it is hard to tell from the art, especially the stained glass art, and I don't remember in the story if they ever explicitly use a pronoun there. I think Ellis just speaks, and Liliana taunts back, and they fight, but we never get a he did this, she did that. I'd have to read it again. Okay, so Lily has made sure that ring is buried as deep as possible to delay the Phyrexians from excavating it. She has returned to Strixhaven, but she intends to come back and purge the Phyrexian threat from the family estate and deal with the enchanted ring. But as she planeswalks away, the Raven Man expresses pleasure that he has manipulated her one more time, and he is confident she'll eventually return home for good. So she is still in his infernal grasp, as it were. And that is the story. Liliana goes to Dominaria briefly to see what Raven Man is saying is a big threat. It ends up being the Phyrexians, including Ellis, who is there to dig up this ring that was buried long ago on the Vess family estate. And from that ring, the Raven Man, who is really... Where'd he go? Raven Man, who is really Limdul, has been influencing Liliana over the course of her life from when she was a teenager and her spark ignited, and he's been following her around, trying to get her to do his bidding for, I don't know, 200-something years now. That's the story. That's what happens in Homecoming. And so we have this pretty cool deck built around this idea. There are some interesting synergies here. If we play Raven Man on 2, well, let's take a look at what he does, right? At the beginning of each end step, if a player discarded a card this turn, create a 1/1 black bird creature token with flying that can't block. So we play him on 2. On turn 3, if we play our Liliana and use her +1 to make everybody discard a card, we get a free bird. That's neat. If we have Raven Man and Ellis in play together and we manage to discard something somewhere, the bird token triggers Ellis's ability, right? Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life. And those birds are not able to block, so I'm okay attacking with them aggressively, and some of them are going to probably die, and then our opponent loses life. So these 3 cards actually have a neat little bit of synergy between them all. As I mentioned, stuff like Hobbling Zombie fits with the story. There were zombies there. This one, when it dies, it makes another token, which is great for Ellis Core. That's more triggers to happen there. No Way Out forces our opponent to discard 2 cards and make a token, so that can trigger Raven Man, that can trigger Ellis again. Fits with the discard of Liliana, keep our opponent's hand empty. Rager lets us refill our hand. Missionary lets us get back creatures from the graveyard. Concealing Curtains represents the Vess family estate, but when it transforms, we get to reveal our opponent's hand, force them to discard something, which again triggers Raven Man. So lots of neat little synergies here. We got some removal with our Cut Down, Destroy Evil, Infernal Grasp. Pilfer is not ideal. If I was going to change anything, I might turn this into like Duress or something, but I wanted to fit as many Dominaria cards in here as possible. And then pointed discussion, right? So they do have discussions about who this Raven Man really is. Draw 2 cards, that's great. Lose 2 life, well, we've got missionaries with lifelink, so we're fine. Create a blood token. So the blood tokens let us discard a card to draw a new one. Great way to ditch our lands and trigger Raven Man to get more birds. Lands are pretty basic, just plains and swamps from Dominaria, that's where the story takes place, and some Shattered Sanctums, which are kind of agnostic. They could be from Dominaria as well. Don't have any Caves of Koilos in here. Nothing happens there in this story, but you could put that in. A case could be made for cycling lands, the tri-lands, especially the ones that have black and white. Again, so you can cycle, which is a discard, which triggers Raven Man. But I wanted to keep this very tightly Dominaria focused. So that is our deck for Homecoming. We're going to jump into some games and see if we can steal any wins with this. And I forgot. So of course, where's my? How do I get to my? No. Here we go. So our avatar is Liliana. Our pet is the Witherbloom book because she teaches for Witherbloom, and the sleeves are Liliana sleeves. Okay, great. Cosmetically, we are sound. Flavor-wise, this deck is great. I guess we could do ranked games. Why not? I was practicing in just the play mode, but I will put my platinum ranking on the line here. Standard ranked, best of 1 with Homecoming, a thematic deck for the Dominaria story. Hobble Zombie is an honorary Dominarian. Yeah. If your opponent cycles a Triumph, you get a Raven. Might be good. Yep. You're right. Some removal is an understatement. Very removal heavy deck. It's only it's got only 6 removal cards, 2 copies each of Cut Down, Destroy Evil, which only work on specific targets. Oh boy, 2 swamps. I guess we have to teleport. We have something to do. Stop and appreciate this kind of commitment to the lore. That's why as the great Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, that's why I'm here. How do you already have platinum ranking? Because I hustle every day, all day. Here's what happens. I try to get to platinum, and then I stop. Like, I don't really try to get beyond platinum. I used to get, oh boy, do we just, whew. We'll put a pin in that. What do we do here? Do we Rager? Do we drop our Lily? I think I just want to draw a card. So the cool thing, Rager and Ellis cancel each other out. Rager makes us lose a life, but Ellis gains us one. So we just get a free card off of our 2/2, which I'll take that. Which of your decks brought you to platinum? I would I'll tell you, but you won't believe me. Okay, so our opponent with a 1/1 human. Do we use Liliana to make them sacrifice that human? I kind of do want to do that, just to keep their board empty and keep the pressure on.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit.
And then something dies, which oh, it's whenever a creature we control
Off
dies.
you go.
So that's, as long as I don't have anything hasty here, Liliana should be safe, and we can start ticking her up. The wedding announcement, that's fine. Lily's technically removal as well. Yeah, so I don't think that this is a truly removal heavy deck, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. All right. So no Raven Man. I don't like to burn our discard spells without Raven Man around, but what else are we gonna do? So we will make them suffer No Way Out, which is gonna make a zombie token, which is gonna and then we will pilfer, see what cards they tried to keep for themselves. So they have a Rite of Oblivion. They're probably hoping to exile Liliana. I think we will strip that from there. Although I guess it has flashbacks, so maybe that wasn't the best thing to make them discard. And then we'll just make everybody discard. And
I'm tired of your secrets.
Okay. And then I guess we're gonna keep these back. Well, it doesn't really make sense to keep them back because they're just gonna sack a token to get rid of Lily anyway. So we will go for our attack spell. Alright, opponent to 10. We're at 21. So I try to get to platinum as quick as I can each month, and then I don't really aggressively try anymore because platinum is the sweet spot. You get the best rewards. You get both of the cosmetics.
I know when I'm not wanted.
And anything beyond that, you know, ooh, another Lily. If you go beyond that, it's diminishing returns. It's harder and harder to climb ranks, and you get like a little extra gold and maybe some extra packs or something. I mostly just want the cosmetics because I'm that guy. So what do we do here? No Way Out them again. Liliana, they'll just sack a token or discard something and then kill her with their flyer. So I think we'll hold on to her for a minute. Let's see if we can make them discard something juicy. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. The trick is to just play a lot. And I experiment with a bunch of different decks. I've shown some on stream. That Bears deck from last week, that got me like through gold, I think. And then I did some testing with this deck before showing it here, but this is not the one that got me to platinum. But I'd like to believe I'm a competent Magic player. There we go. There's the right to kill Ellis. Sad. Opponent down to just 4. Can we find a way to chip in the last few points of damage? All right, I think we go, oof, I don't want to use double black. So if we draw another land, we can play Lily here. Well, all right, would have been fine either way. Lily in, and do we want them to sack a token? That doesn't really help. I guess we'll just keep trying to empty out their hand.
We all have things we'd rather.
Bye, Lily. Hi, Lily. Yeah. And then this guy, I don't know. He's just gonna hang out. Okay. So I guess their flyer still kills Liliana. Ooh, that hurts. Of despair. Ouch. Okay, that tidied up the board pretty nicely for us. And we find a cut down that is useless because everything has more than 5 power and or toughness. No point attacking in there. So we've got what, maybe 1 or 2 more turns to find a way to punch through here. Man, even their lowly 1/1 we can't cut down. Pretty rough, pretty rough. We started off really strong and then I don't know what happened. They just kind of We didn't find a Raven Man, really. So this is 10 damage. I think we're okay. A pump here? What do they got? All right, we need something good. Missionary. Okay, so that can get us back 2, 3, 4, 6. We have 7 lands. She takes 4, so we can get back, I guess, Ellis. But we're dead to their flyer anyway, so it doesn't matter. Too little, too late. If we had that one turn earlier, I think we could have stabilized and would have been in better shape. I do not think we're winning this one. All they have to do is attack with their vampire. And they found the line. For shame. Okay. That's all right. It's a story-driven deck. That's our warm-up. You know, we gotta shake it out. And I can't drop below Platinum 4, so I don't... Whatever. Free roll, right? Free roll. Now, I did make a small change to OBS to try and fix the lag or stutter problem that we've had on previous streams. You guys will have to let me know if you still have that problem. I mean, it seems to be running okay. I haven't gotten the little pop-up that says we're having any encoding issues. Question: what is your favorite set of all time? You know what? I would struggle to pick just one. I liked the previous Dominaria a lot. I loved all the legends in there. I loved the flavorful callbacks, Wizard's Lightning and Wizard's Counterspell. Those were really cool. I liked Strixhaven a lot. I was a resident assistant in college. I met my wife in college. That was kind of like a big part of who I am, and so seeing like a school-based set was really fun. I appreciated all of the snow day and you know, all the tropes and stuff in there. That was really cool. All right, so they have a cult conscript. I think we can do Raven Man and set up a pilfer for next turn. I love Lessons Learn. I thought that was a really cool combination. So Strixhaven was good. And I think Theros is just a cool place. I like the gods. I like all of the enchantment creatures were such a cool thing. Bestow and how that worked. I really liked mechanics-wise. I think Theros is one of my favorite worlds to visit. Story-wise, Dominaria history, you can't beat it. And identity-wise, I think I really liked Strixhaven. Okay, so we're on 3 lands. They've got some aggressive dudes. We could drop a missionary here and pretty much hold both of these off. I think that's okay. I mean, I don't like not kicking them, but we need something to do here. And I don't think it's worth spending removal on either of these guys just yet. Usually only gain ranks in limited. I'm in diamond now. That's cool. I don't play enough limited. I wish I played more because, A, because you got to pay for it every time. And I'm always nervous. And 2, I've got a young kid, you know, I've got family, I'm often getting interrupted, and it's hard for me to carve out time to do like a whole draft or something. When we get, look, we're not finding any more lands. When we get early access for okay, I'm not sure if we're still connected here. I had a little internet hiccup there. It looks like the stream is still on, but my chat box collapsed, so now I can't see chat anymore. Alright. Our opponent has another Evolved Sleeper. I'm just going to keep playing and reboot the chat box in just a minute, and hopefully you all are still out there and the stream did not just implode on itself. I don't know what happened. I think it's safe to attack. I guess we've got some Destroy Evils for Shieldred if she shows up. So we will Missionary, kick it, bring back Raven Man. We didn't really miss anything in the game here. Alright, opponent with the old heavy-duty meat hook massacre wipes away everything. They're gonna wish they'd saved that for Raven Man, but you know. Pilfer. Definitely taking away a trespasser. Ooh, we just have all the removal spells. Okay. Have anything in hand. Ouch. All right, frustrating. And then we just hit lands. Okay, all right, well, we're in a race to grind them out, holding enough removal for anything with high toughness, but they've got a 3-1, so kind of wish I had one of my cut downs right here, but I do not. Okay, Lily, perfect.
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me. I've always hated criminals.
Is it worth? Sure, let me get that guy back. Okay. I don't know if it's worth using Destroy Evil to destroy Meat Hook Massacre, but we'll see. Liliana falls to a skeleton.
Sorry, I'm not interested in dying today.
And then we hit more lands. Alright, so I don't think we're gonna pull ahead here. We'll take one more turn. And really, I just want to focus on getting the stream fixed, because again, I don't know what happened with the internet there. We had a little hiccup, and now none of my displays are working, so this is getting awkward. Okay, Halberd Zombie, that buys me some time. And I guess it is worth just getting this out of here. Can snuff it. And the race is on. Let's take our pointed discussion. Need the land. And it says we do. Okay. So I'm doing that just to make the zombie, just to get extra damage. I know they have no cards in hand. Alright, and hopefully they have no way to buff this guy. Opponent thinking long and hard. Alright, they attack. Get us to 1. Just lands. Oh my gosh. So what do they have? Removal? For the zombie? Probably, right? Unless it's grasp and they can't use it. It's cut. They find their cut. Okay. Now we don't have a blocker, so they win. That was very close. Very close. Ugh. Defeated. What are we? 0-2 already. That is terrible. Alright. Just gonna pause on the games for a second, see if I can get this stream working again, because right now I feel like I'm talking to myself. Just gonna throw up the old BRB while I get this sorted. Hang on, folks. Okay, thank you for your patience while I got that figured out. As I've said many times, still kind of new to the whole streaming thing. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my internet just dropped, and all these pop-ups came up that the stream lost its connection. But then my internet came right back, and I was still in Arena, but all my chat and everything was going. Anyway, whatever. You don't need to know that. For anyone who just joined us, welcome to Magic Arcanum. We're playing a thematic best of one deck built around Liliana's presence on Dominaria during the Dominaria United Side Story Homecoming, which we already recapped. But basically, the Raven Man, who is really Limdul, encouraged her to come home to Dominaria to face Ellis and the rest of the Phyrexians who are trying to dig up the magical ring that contains the essence of Limdul, buried somewhere underground at the Vess estate. This is 3 planes and a bunch of black cards. We cannot keep that. This is better, much better. What do we ditch, though? I think we want Raven Man, we want Ellis. Missionary's also good, but we're probably not going to play it for a while. And Rager draws us cards, so we'll keep that. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for being here on this lovely Friday, first Friday of fall, really. So they have double planes. I think we'll open with Ellis, even though the theme of the deck is the Raven Man and Lily. Ellis gains us life for every subsequent creature that we play, so... Celestis. Okay. And we find Liliana. That's interesting. So now I kind of wish I had played Raven Man, because then I could go straight to the discarding. I think we'll wait. We're not gonna show them Lily just yet. Instead, we'll take our free card. Rager only costs us 1 to draw, but Ellis gives us 1 when we have a creature enter, so we cancel each other out. I love it. Alright, Colonian Behemoth, can you handle the raw power that is our flavor win? You have a dragon. You have a 5/4 dragon. Okay. Welp, we got some options here. We can force him to sack it. We can destroy the evil. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what this is in the deck for, right? Destroy it, and obviously they're not putting counters on. They're just going to get to do a baby collected company. We'll find the Wandering Emperor. Cool.
You're ready to lose.
Well, I guess we're attacking her. And instead of exiling someone, they make a token which plays right into our cut down, so they don't even get to keep the input. Well done, opponent.
Will cross again.
He's not evil, let him sack. Well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, so you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, they have a welcoming vampire, followed up by an intrepid adversary. A little non-bow here, right? Because the vampire wants other creatures of power 2 or less to enter the battlefield, and the adversary is a 3, so... We could do another Rager, draw a free card. We could do Lily, make him sack somebody. Probably not great. We could attack with both first, see how they block. Probably eat the Rager and trade with Ellis if I had to guess. And that's not great for us, so I think we'll just play Rager. Try to find some removal for the welcoming vampire. Get it, don't even get a land. And we'll just wait a minute. What a turn. That's how we get platinum. Okay, we just kill dragons, kill planeswalkers, kill everything. Alright, can't touch the flyer. We will try to trade a Rager for the adversary. The fact that they have all their mana open makes me a little sketch, but they don't have any tricks on that one. It's going to force it to become nighttime. Okay. Do Raven and Lily. Yeah, I think that's our plan here. Alright, we did find a 4th land, so we could kick our missionary to get back a Rager. I don't think that's super necessary. 4 is not enough to do Lily and Raven together. So I guess we'll just do Raven again. Pick up a life from Ellis. Get in there for 4. I guess we gotta watch out for stuff like Iganjo wrecking us somewhere in here, but not this turn. Alright, I feel like the stream disconnect and rebooting might have brought us better luck somehow. Maybe we're gonna win this one. Got 2 cards. Time to discard them. Alright. And we got the mana for it. Oh, they're gonna farewell everybody! Well, opponent now down to 1 card, so we actually... Oh, we got the combo! Raven Man into Lily.
A fight?
Each of us discards, and I think we have to discard our extra Lily because Missionary can bring back something, and that's more valuable. About to ask what format this is. This is Best of 1 Standard. And this is our story-driven deck for Homecoming, the side story from Dominaria United. So do we now make them sack this crazy angel? I guess we have to. Oh, they have hexproof. I can't make them sack the angel. Oh my god. Okay, alright, because she says target player sacrifices a creature, so there is no getting by that. I guess we are just gonna pitch a swamp.
We all have things we'd rather
And kick this. Oh, it was our whole graveyard's exiled, so kicking didn't even. Okay, all right, we're just losing our minds here. I went from being on top of this game to being way behind in the span of 1 enduring angel. Okay, all right, focus. We're still in this.
Do not touch me again. It's
Down
no
Lily.
fun when they hit back.
They have a bunch of nice white cards over here now, doing work. Celestis giving me free birds, though. I like that. Discuss. So we have a no way out, which does nothing. We have a blood token, which I will wait. I mean, really all I can do is attack into these flyers, I guess? Well, no, nobody discarded anything yet this turn, right? So I guess we can use the blood token now. Pitch that. Find another one. Opponent gonna get value out of this Faithbound Judge. I like when the opponent has Celestis, though. They just keep discarding their own cards. We just get more and more birds out of this. But we need to find some answers here to their flyers, otherwise the birds will not be enough. That's not it. And this is, again, target opponent discards cards. Each opponent discards a card. Well, guess what? Yeah, no Protector Griffin for you. 5 birds. Okay, do or die time, and it's die time. Why does our deck betray us every time? Frustrating. I feel like the core of this deck is like still good. We're just not getting there, right? So, yeah, you can have a day. This angel alone kills us. Got it. Got it, opponent. Mono white. Very good. Even though we got you with the Dragon into Wandering Emperor. Alright. Currently, I think 0-3. Although, I don't know if we count the one where the internet hiccuped in the... Oh, hey, look. We unlocked some cool stuff. Okay. Let's do one more before we talk about any changes to the deck. I'm open to swapping cards out if we think that there's a way to improve this list. But again, I wanted to start with something as close to the story as possible. Do we have too much land for our low curve? Probably. We might. I have 24 in there right now. We could probably get away with like 22. Okay, this looks good. 3 lands. Curtains into Ellis, into Pilfering. We got a little removal. We got some options. I will take it. I feel like the bird effect is too underwhelming. Probably not wrong. Although, I like that it happens each turn, right? If they discard on their turn. And I like that if it's any player. So, like, if we make them discard, or if we cycle or blood token ourselves. But yeah, a little 1/1 bird that can't even block. I don't love it. Don't love it, but whatever. Alright, opponent with their own black-white deck, leading off with the Cult Conscript and a Tenacious Underdog. We have no way to exile cards out of graveyards, so I don't think we'll ever be rid of this guy. We can cut him down. We can... I want to see what they got going on, though. Oh boy. Planeswalkers. And a Meat Hook, which I don't think we can actually beat. Well. Guess we'll try to get in there with our... Oh man, they are willing to give up their whole board. To trade for my 1 card. I guess that's fine, because they know they'll come back eventually. We've got at least 1 turn before Meat Hook is a problem. They have their own Pilgrim. Cute. Okay. So I think we deny them that. And then... Aha, they have a Rata drop. don't even know what that is. Okay. Do we keep them off of Soren? I guess so. I guess we don't want them to have planeswalkers. I don't want them to have anything. I want them to concede, so I could say I at least won one match here, but ain't happening. Hey chat, how do y'all feel about banning Meat Hook? Man, I feel like it is too good. I feel like there's a lot of cards right now in Standard, especially in Black, that do something every turn and just generate so much value. Between Soren, drawing you more cards, Meat Hook continually with the light. All right, too many lands. We're cutting some lands. Shieldred, turning every draw step into a game drain. I mean, there's just a lot of value every turn in Black right now. Do we just kill this guy? I guess. You know, I don't know why I'm bothering to go through these motions. It's not Oko Massacre. That would turn all the creatures into elks. Well, you know, but at least then you'd still have something. You'd still have a board. Meat Hook kills your board and then makes it very hard to ever catch back up, because every time you kill any part of their board, you're punished for it. And every time they kill any of your board, they're rewarded for it. Like that is a lot of sequential, incremental value over the course of a game. All right. Do we even have something to bring back? I guess we stand curtain. It's curtains for you, opponent. What do we take? Doesn't really matter. Okay. We're gonna die. Lion Sash for graveyards. Yeah, I could make room for that. Doesn't really fit with the story or the theme of this deck at all, but like, you know, that's the tension. How do we make this as close to what happened as possible, but also make it kind of good? I want it to at least be kind of good. During testing, I was averaging about 50-50. But I was testing unranked, and now I'm playing platinum opponents who actually are trying to win with legitimate decks. So that's where we're at. All right, let's take a look at this. I think I have some ideas. All right, back to the list. And again, for anyone who recently joined in, we're doing Homecoming, the side story, the first of the 5 side stories for Dominaria United. This one features Liliana heading back to Dominaria at the request of the Raven Man to confront Ellis Ilkor and the 8 other Phyrexians. We got 4 missionaries, 4 rangers, to get them off of her estate grounds where his magical ring is buried. And then the rest of the deck is mostly removal, zombies, destroying evil. Liliana wants to destroy evil, live up to Gideon's memory, stuff like that. 24 lands might be too many. We could add cycling lands. We could just maybe cut a pair and then add in something like Don't You Crash on Me, Arena. There it is. I think Duress might be worth trying. It's another discard thing. It gives us something to do on turn 1. We'll try 2 Duress. And we'll see where that gets us. We'll see. Make sure no missed land drops don't go below 24. I see, I know. I have the same, I'll say superstition. I guess it's not a superstition, but yeah, if you play anything other than 24 lands, it feels like Shuffler becomes rigged, but I don't have any concrete proof of that, so we're just gonna cut to see what happens. And if we lose, we blame it on the Shuffler this time. And if we win, then we look like geniuses because we changed exactly what we needed to change. Only 2 lands in the opener. We have a 2-drop, a bunch of 2-drops, really. and then 3s. So we just need to find one more land, and we're Gucci. I guess we open with the Sanctum, which sets us up for turn 2 Ellis Ilcor. But yeah, so black is in an interesting spot. There are just a lot of cards that generate consistent repeat value for black right now, and that's why mono black is one of the best, maybe the best decks in the format. Found another land. We're going to use it to play a Rager, who's going to draw us another card, unless our opponent has a response. What? What? What do you got? Fading Hope? Shuffler's rigged. Always has been. Oh, we got syncopated. Do not see that one come up very often. I forgot that's even in standard. Interesting. Okay. Well, if they countered that, I have to imagine they're going to counter that. So do we just go pointed discussion, or do we try to chip away at their hand? Let's do that. Let's pilfer. Let's put our little tiny bones into play here. I mean, we're not playing tiny bones. Says goodbye to our Ellis. And now we get to deny them. Wandering Emperor is the next scariest thing out of their hand. Yep. Alright, cool. Laugh about it all you want. I'll give you the Liliana stick smack. Okay. So we know that it is safe to... So we could play Lily, but then they just Fateful Absence her. So do we take away Fateful Absence? I guess we have to. And now next turn we can play Lily, maybe. Although now we don't know what that is. I think I'm just gonna do the raid. I'd like to see some more lands. Going down to 22 is starting to feel real bad right about now. Think your opponents think you're playing meta deck. Shieldred, Meat-hooks, then surprise, Raven Man. Yeah. Alright, so they've got 2 fresh cards. Do we... First we attack. First we attack. See if they have Wandering Emperor. Then we duress. Which now feels brilliant in this control matchup. And now they are Fateful Absencing our Rager after he did his damage. They have another Fateful Absence. Can't let you keep that because we're playing the Raven Man. And since we made you discard this, oh, you could bounce him. You could Fateful Absence, but you don't. You didn't do it. Okay. That's fine. You want to waste a board wipe there. You're welcome to it. So now it's Lily.
Enough
Discard.
with the mysteries.
I think we need to cast
I'm
down
tired of
here.
your secrets.
So now we're getting calls to go back up 2 more lands with cycling lands. I could see it. I could see it. So they discarded their Hullbreaker. They're holding on to Fading Hope. For what? For what? I think we need Pilfer. We will Pointed Discussion. And we'll probably cash one of these in at the end of their turn. I think we'll just use the clue here and straight up draw. Maybe we 22 might be too many. Okay. Celestis does its thing. They get to gain a life, draw, then discard. And we discard a Memory Deluge. Oh, we'll play Sanctum. Blood token ourselves. Looking for a Raven Man. Do you have a response to my blood token activation? Oh man, opponent, don't make me use the Lily again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright, well, while we're sitting here waiting on this opponent to make some decisions. There it is. Oh! Ho, ho! The cycle auto or no? Oh, ooh, wow. Okay, fine.
It.
That just lets me use her again.
No more distractions.
But I don't. Oh man, do I want to though? I don't want to. They have no cards in hand, and I don't want to give up my Destroy Evil in case they find another Hullbreaker Horror. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. They're somehow ahead on life, Celestis, but what if their Wi-Fi crashed? I mean, I just went through that, so I get it. I try to extend the benefit of the doubt, but it is insane how many people I run into every day who just rope, and I don't think they're all having internet problems. All this exile. Not good for business. Alright, well, my bird is never gonna overtake the Celestis, and again, I don't want to discard the one good card I'm holding, so... Okay. Cool. Do I want to make him sack a token? I guess I do? That feels wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to make him discard. I don't.
Off you go.
But I like the one-on-one zombie-human matchup we got going on now. Alright, they deluge. They get to draw some more cards. It's fine. Totally fine. It's all lands. You can have lands. We have too many lands. Okay. Well, guess what? Finally, we have something okay to discard.
We all have things we never forget.
So do they. Alright, we're going to keep our zombie back to protect Lily from the human token. And we were saving this for you! Get off of my screen! Nice, thanks. You're welcome. Except now our hand is empty. And they are drawing way more stuff than we are. Oh my god. Alright, well.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Chipping away, one bird at a time. I don't think we can beat that, although they can't attack with it. And this doesn't really care. Do we have anything in our graveyard, or have they been exiling everything? We have a Raven Man. We have a Raven Man, guys. We gotta go for it. Or do we Rager to draw more cards? I think this is a Raven Man deck, right? Except they have nothing in their hand to discard. And making them sack just gets rid of their token, so...
Don't overthink
It's fine. We'll just tick her up. Maybe we can make them sack 4 lands. I don't know. Salty opponents. Yeah, well, that's the name of the game. You know, I get it. And sometimes it is the internet. Sometimes boss walks in. You gotta look busy. Sometimes. Oh, they're throwing March on our zombie. Okay, that makes sense. And our Raven Man. That hurts. Alright, do we care enough about Lily to give up the missionary? Yeah, I'd like to keep her around a little longer if I can. Although... Alright, so here's what we do.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery, copy it. Whenever an opponent, that's me, casts an instant, artifact, whatever. Okay. Make sure I keep the right one.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
Yeah, it wasn't an oops opponent. I needed to thin
I've
the
always
field
hated
out.
cards.
They're just digging deep. 32 cards left for them. 33 for us. How have they only seen... Okay, so once again, internet just hiccuped there, and I got all of my stream disconnected warnings, and I have no idea if anyone's still out there. My chat box is gone, the game hung up. I'm just gonna power through this last match here, and then I think we're gonna have to start wrapping this up, because it seems the universe does not want me to stream. Also seems this is glitched because it shows them with a card in hand, but when I made them discard, nothing happened. So I don't know what's going on. Okay. How many cards does our opponent have? They have a farewell. Creatures in the graveyards, but not our Liliana. Find a swamp. They have a 2/2. Make him get rid of it.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Man, this game is a grind. And they just have a bajillion cards and we have to pay lands, even though we went down to 22. I need to find... I have no graveyard. I have nothing. Let me just complain about how many lands I have a little bit more. Discard a card. Alright, we're down to 1.
Don't overthink things.
Impulse is going to find him another one. It's a bank buster. Celestis putting in a ton of work for the opponent, letting them filter through extra lands and everything, and we can't even punish them because we don't have our own Raven Man. See, again, is this card in their hand or not? You see a face down or a card back.
You won't be outsmarting me.
But the thing says they only have 1 card in their hand in the pop-up, so alright. Look at that, they happen to top deck a monster. Fantastic. Crew, and then they kill our Queen of the Dead. This is exactly how I thought this was going to go. Okay.
Nothing more.
Alright, 1 more top deck for the win, please. I don't even know what I want here. Another Lily? Do I have any left? 1 there. 1 there. Nope, game gives me a swamp. You know what? We are not climbing out of that hole. Okay. Learned a lot of important lessons here. Number 1, I should get off of Wi-Fi and figure out how to hardwire my computer into the core of the Earth, apparently, since that doesn't work for some reason. I don't think I've ever had games drop when I'm just playing by myself. I don't know if it's something with the stream. I don't know if it's something going on elsewhere in the house. I mean, my wife also works from home, but she's never dropped her Zoom meetings or anything either. I do not understand. Okay, let's look at the deck one more time just to wrap things up here since I think it's that time. All right. So this was Homecoming, the side story from Dominaria United, which features Liliana of the Vale. She is asked to return to Dominaria from her teaching job at Strixhaven on Arcavios by the Raven Man, who we learn is really Limdul, a character from Dominaria's ancient past. He was a great necromancer, but he was defeated by Joda, and part of his essence was trapped in a magical ring, which found its way over to the Vess family, I don't know, ancestry, and one of them realized it was a terrible thing, and they buried it in the garden out back, and from there, Limdul has been calling out to Liliana. He sees her as the next link in his chain, and he wanted her to return him to power. But before he can do that, they've got to deal with the Phyrexians, who have come looking to dig him up and exploit him for their own purposes. So the deck is kind of built around some Phyrexians. We got the Missionary, we got the Rager, we got Liliana is left with no way out, and she calls on some zombies from her estate to kind of help in the battle, which all takes place on Dominaria. So we got the fancy lands. She is there to destroy the evil, and they try to cut Liliana down. At one point she gets hit by a javelin, which may or may not have some Phyrexian oil, which may or may not lead to her eventual completion. I have said in other videos, if we're going to see bodies hit the floor in the coming war against the Phyrexians, Liliana probably going to be one to go. As much as I love her as a character, they kind of wrapped up all of her storylines. They've kind of settled the Raven Man thing. They reprinted her best card. I don't really know where else they can go with her beyond this, so she might be one to die. Unless she beats them to it by, lichifying herself or something. That'd be kind of ironic for someone who tried to cheat death for so long that she prolongs her death by becoming like a zombie version of her own self. I don't know how that works. Anyway, that's our deck. We started with 24 lands. Maybe that was too many. We cut 2 to stick in some duress, which helped against that blue-white control deck, but ultimately this one just didn't have the punch to it that we needed to win any games, even though in testing I got some wins out of it. But the core synergy of Lily, Ravenman, and Ellis, who kind of play well off of each other, but they just don't do enough. Not against Meat Hook Massacres, not against Celestis and Hullbreaker Horrors. There are some very powerful cards in Standard, even though we just rotated, and these 3 don't quite get there. There's probably better decks you can build with Liliana. I mean, I know there are. Mono Black is probably just straight up better than this. But I think it captured the story pretty well. I might keep tinkering with it and refining it. And if you guys have any other suggestions or want to take this build and run with it on your own and then come back and leave me a comment with what you like, what you don't like, what you change, I'd love to hear about it. That's my story time for Homecoming. I would like to do this for the other 4 side stories in Dominaria, turn them into little streams with fun thematic decks. I think there's at least one story that involves characters who don't have cards, the Jared Carthalion one. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I might have to do a more classic episode, something scripted. But for things like the completion of the Weatherlight, that gets its own story. Braids, we get to find out what she's doing. And I would love to make decks and explore all those just like we did here. But if that's what you guys want to see, you got to let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, become a patron, harass me on Discord. That's what I'm here for. My chat box is still gone, so I don't know if anyone is even out there still watching. If you stuck with me this whole time, I really appreciate it. I enjoy doing the live streams, trying to get better every time. Apologize for the internet hiccups today. I thought things would go smoother since I lowered my frames per second on OBS. I think that was causing the issues previously, and the stream itself seems to be going smoother At least on that end, it's being encoded correctly. It just, my internet just dropped twice. So I will keep working on things. You keep working on what you need to work on. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. And on behalf of Nicole, we'll see ya.